are the girls who glow.
I didn't finish this memoir before I died. But you can take it from here.
Please!
Who you want to join us, please? If you could have, say, 5 more minutes.
Oh my God.
What would you put in?
I would personally like to add the scene where, the wall scene where we were over there and then it kind of established more time, I guess. There's a few moments, like we became a wall over here and there was some movement stuff that I know I only joined yesterday. But Ryan worked with these guys and it was awesome, and some of the movement stuff was taken out, but I think adding the movement parts of progression over time would have helped a lot, but we had to take those out because we were short on time.
So 4 days ago, 3 days ago, we were 9 minutes over. And so we've been whittling away, and actually last night we were 2 minutes. We were at 37. And so I came in this morning and I gave them cuts this afternoon. So they have cut 3, 4, actually they cut like 5 minutes in an afternoon. So it's amazing that they can take cuts and they can assimilate, and I think that's a real testament to their flexibility. And what they've learned throughout the 3 or 4 years is that theater is a very fluid medium, and it's all about communicating the message, and it's about making it work. And because they work so tightly as an ensemble, they can actually do that because they support each other, and nobody is out there on their own. Yeah.
How much do you think it's going to change from now till the performance tomorrow?
None.
So all the way back in September, we were given a long script, that 90-page script that clocked in about 2.5 hours. It was written as a screenplay. So no, wait, yes, a screenplay. So for a movie, which is very different than the way directions are written for stage production. So we had to both cut down 2 hours of that, and then we also had to morph it so we could get the same ideas across on stage rather than on the screen. So through a lot of workshopping, which is Ms. Cabby will give groups of us in class and out of class different parts of the script and we come up with all these different ideas, and then we present them to the rest of the class, and Ms. Cabby takes our ideas or doesn't take them, and just after a while we finally put together a whole show. And then so we got it down to 45 minutes back in October, so for our first show. And then we did that twice, and then we put it away for a while. We came back 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, and then Ms. Cabby came back with a script cut down to 30-some minutes, and we had to keep cutting away at that just to make sure it was concise. And so it's a very long process, but it's very rewarding to get just thinking back, I had a 2.5-hour screenplay that I brought down to a 30-minute show, which is really cool that we all did this together.
Yes?
Are your stage managers checking with your time and giving you updates as you're going? Because I have to make a comment, that was not at all evident in your acting, and I applaud that. You didn't have any panic about you or any, that it was amazing. I thought maybe you were unaware.
Actually, they did a run this afternoon that was as if they were all, have had many coffee. They're kind of mad to get off stage, but they wanted to get them down. Yeah.
So the statement has stayed the same from the very beginning, and a statement is the thesis of your piece, the whatever you want to get across, or some people say the spinal cord of your piece. But the statement for this show was the greed of many steals the innocent, or the greed of few steals the innocence of many.
Yes.
How many other schools participate, and do they all do original works?
It is, at each conference, there's 8 schools, and some do original work, some don't. It's very much up in the air. There's musicals, there's dramatic pieces, there's original work, there's student written work, there's direct work. So it becomes very much of a hodgepodge, and theater is really a diverse medium, and judges like different things. So when you go in, you really never know what they're going to like, what they're not going to like. And so in the end, I always say that we can create something that we're really proud of, but that's pretty much all that we matter. And that we've done our best to really present a piece that has developed and challenged us to the point that it can, and that we have really harnessed the material, then I think that's really what matters. But there will be, hopefully there will be 7 other schools. Yeah.
But everyone gets to answer. You're a one-word statement on this play. Everyone starts. Go.
One word.
Yeah, go.
Awesome.
Keep going.
Distance. Yeah. Lies.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. Lies again.
Greed.
Innocence.
Journey.
Deception.
Dishonesty. Feminism.
Determination.
Injustice. Protection.
Motivation.
Hopeful. Justice. Manipulation. Courage. What's your word, Kat?
Yeah. I was curious how they came up with the beauty queen part.
Well, I think it was in the workshopping process. I was in one of the groups where we had the scene. I might have also been in the script.
Yeah, originally it was a costume.
Yeah, so it was actually like, there was a song in it. There were a few songs in
Musical,
it.
actually, originally.
Yeah. Yeah, so it was originally a musical, and at the time, Ginny was here with us while we were workshopping. So we had like a few ideas. We were like, oh yeah, like come forward and be like, oh, like they're a beauty queen, it could be super fun. She like gave us a few insights, and it was really fun. At first we were like, oh, but these people are like dying. They're literally dying, and we're being like, oh, and like that's weird. But then eventually by the end we were like, yeah, we really like this. So like that's how we came up with the idea.
Ginny was here in the fall, and her mother is right there. She's a very proud mom. You have to stand up there. Sorry. Where? Yeah, it's not. And her. And her son created the compositions in the piece, so he created the music for it. So it was all of the family and yes.
First off, great job. I loved it. You guys really ready for tomorrow? I think you guys are, but you guys ready?
conventional casting like we did. I have to say this is the most conventional casting show of yours I've ever seen. Did it start out as kind? Did it start out that way? Conventional casting. It was a very complicated story, and for the 30-minute format, it's a lot easier to tell a complicated story in a 30-minute format if it's a story like Midsummer Night's Dream. Everybody knows the characters. You don't have to do exposition. You don't have to explain who they are. But in a piece like this, you really do need the audience to get who these people are and what they're playing. So I tried to do that through, I guess, conventional, a little bit more. It's not an insulting word. It's great. It's awesome when it comes out. It's a loaded word. What I'm going to do is 30 minutes, 30 seconds.
Yes!
The reason we want to get it down is because, like I said, the stage is 10 feet wide, and you don't know, and we really don't know where the entrances are going to be and how long it's going to take, and what the space between the wall and the curtain is going to be. So tomorrow, we're going to be there. You get 10 minutes to walk the stage. So we're going to go walk the stage, and it'd be really nice to leave a buffer from the stage. Also, there's a huge drop from where they are down to the bottom, and then there's probably 20 or 30 feet out, and then there's a railing, and then there's the audience. So it's kind of this huge cavernous space. So that timing is really important because it may take longer to get from the edge of the curtain out, and if we don't compensate for that, there's a problem. It happened to us at SCTC. We did Nora's Lost, and it's a very tight show, timing-wise. We did it in an opera house for the Southeastern Theater Conference, the representatives for Virginia. And the timing was off because there were a division of probably 8 or 10 feet on either side, and it was an opera space, and we were used to this. So I think timing is hard, and being able to adjust. And I think that's one of the other values of this particular medium, is the flexibility that kids learn.
How was it like doing a period piece?
How do I doing a period piece? Yeah.
I personally really like period pieces because it's a lot more fun to do going to a universe that's not really like your own. Like when you do the modern pieces, it's cool because in some ways it's a lot more relatable because you're like, oh, like they're teenagers at the same time as me. But when you do a period piece, there's a lot more you can play with, like the music of the time and like the norms of the time, and it's a lot. I think you have a lot more to play with in terms of making it interesting.
If there's going to be a huge cavernous space and a long distance from the audience, I suggest we work on projection very hard because hopefully this is inaudible here tonight.
Yes, we're going to work on this. Yeah, definitely. That's something that always need to work on, and one of the things is that adolescents' voices really have to develop. So when you find a voice that's really developed in an adolescent, it's really kind of an abnormality. Usually a certain voice doesn't truly develop about age 20 or so. But we work on it a lot, and we can always work on it more. Or it's in terms of volume. Low volume? Yes. High volume with each one. Ready?
Aluminum linoleum. Toy boats, toy boats, toy boats, toy boats.
Good. Clever. One more time. Ready?
Aluminum linoleum. Aluminum linoleum. Aluminum linoleum. Toy boats, toy boats, toy boats, toy boats.
Good. Make sure you're supporting it. You're not screaming here. It's coming from here. And breathing. So part of what I do is I do educational theater. And educational theater means giving giving all students opportunities. So sometimes I could have told this story much simply with a cast of 5. But I didn't have a cast of 5, and I had this particular cast. And so I had to make this work based on who we had and who is in this ensemble. So a lot of the choices that I make are to give students opportunities. And so one of the things that we cut was some of those moments that we kept in because we came up with them. But they really didn't serve the story to the extent that they could have. So we had a soldier scene in there. We had a lot of the back and forth going into a room, a deposition room. We cut that out for simplicity's sake, to be able to tell the story. So I think it was a combination of things. It was telling the story and also giving opportunities to students. Yes?
The ones who are acting sick, does it make you feel differently, like queasy or anything like that?
Yes.
It's kind of depressing. Yeah. But also fun. So it's like sadistically.
How did you guys decide on the way you wanted to portray that?
I didn't decide how to portray that.
Oh.
It doesn't have to be it's
So I had a lot of trouble like finding the motivations, but then I watched Jessica Jones on Netflix, and then I decided to use Kilgrave, who's a sociopath, as Death. So I don't know, it was kind of weird to like play a sociopath, because I'm not. And Miss Tabby told me not to talk to Lexi, and Lexi to avoid me this week. So I've been like teasing her.
I haven't spoken to her in like a week. It'll continue until we're actually okay. At least you look.
So is the question, how do we come up with the image of death?
Yeah, like
Okay, so I come up with the image of death. Why death in this representation? And why the box? And why the umbrellas? And why yeah.
Well, when we were first workshopping the dream, well, there are 2 places where death came out. First, when we were doing the apple bobbing scene, where there was one where 2 people did it. One group was like they were chasing apples, and one of them was a green apple and it was red apples, and that's how we symbolized death. And then another group, death was holding the apple. And then in the dream we had death, which we actually used, death dancing with the girls and killing them one by one. And because we wanted to symbolize, the death of the girls. And that's how. Did that make sense? Kind of? Yeah.
We also saw a video that was brought in by another student about this very flexible French artist. And where are you?
Sure.
You can tell us about that.
Okay, so this French rapper that I really like, Stromae. And so this music video came out the day that we were workshopping the show, and so I saw it, and it was this video of Stromae performing on stage and songs about cancer, and so the way that he portrayed it in the video was really cool. It was like this black hand and this black mask thing, just kind of eating around and being all that could be a thing for the show, for death, and then it kind of gains hands kind of
I guess so the thing to take out of this is that this is not one person's creation. It is a combination of all these different ideas that everybody brings to the table, and that's why it truly is an ensemble process. And to be able to do this is why it takes so long. barely put it all together. But I take everybody, there's no bad idea, and they can all feed into every other idea. And so when we work on Pinocchio, this is the process that we'll be using for that. Yes?
I should mention that during the competition, I will be faced off against a cast of maybe 2 or 3 for some schools.
Yes, so some schools bring 20, some schools bring 2, some schools bring 5, some schools bring 70. We did. So it all depends. So you never really know. It's very varied. So competition really isn't, I think, it doesn't really evaluate the quality of a piece. Everybody does more. Yes?
Are you guys, if we get ready to costuming a little
So right before this, we ate dinner together to cast a character. Something that's very interesting. That was actually the most helpful thing to me so far because I came into this later. Like I was one of the 3 that came in later, so I was not used to this. So I was still figuring out my character like today. And so like we were in character and we were all sitting there eating pizza and I'm being like this motherly person going around making sure everyone's okay. And then Dad comes by and just starts like strolling around and then she just like hugs Shannon, Irene, the one who died. And she just like hugs her and of course as soon as she goes away, she like passes out. And so that was not necessarily creepy, but it was very unsettling because you could feel Amy as this presence just kind of there.
So that's called clear improvisation. And improvise to understand the circumstances of the reality. The reality is given. So yes, you should.
Backstage when we can't see her, and just like pops up stairs all the time.
And that jaw, I mean, like if you're not expecting it, it's just there.
Yes.
So constantly cutting down on lines and speech, does that make it easier on early cast or more difficult?
It, to me anyway, is a lot harder because the thing is that you're trying to live this gigantic story and you have to cover it in so few lines. So what you have to do in order to really make the story come across is you have to have your subtext be very clear. And for any of you who don't know, subtext is not what you say, but it's what's running through your head while you're saying it. And everybody has subtext in what they say because you might say, oh, nice dress, but really you're thinking you are the ugliest person I've ever seen in my life. But you don't say that. And so you have to have your subtext be so incredibly clear. And at least for me, actually a lot of my subtext were some of my original lines that ended up getting cut, but they're still relevant to the plot. And so I would always keep those in the back of my head so that I knew, okay, I only say this, but between the time when I say this line and that, this is where my brain has gone. It's gone all the way over there.
Okay, so before we get is there any other question regarding this particular show? That's one.
As a figure 3 jumping into the show, what was it like?
Yeah.
It feels very invasive because everybody has been working so hard on this and they've kind of been through the whole process and they've workshopped it. And in this theater department where you're really used to being part of that workshopping experience where the show really does become yours, I found it very hard to connect with what was going on and connect with everybody else because I hadn't been there from the beginning. But really, the show is great and ensemble work is a real life thing. But it definitely is unsettling to feel like it's not your show, maybe it's someone else's. You're just taking. But it you got over that.
Wait, that's right, yes.
Just a comment, I think it's gotta be really hard to put your character forward
of the 4 years, and hopefully you got a new brochure at the table. At the end of 4 years, or at the 4-year mark, all of the unicorns write, stage, and act in a one-person show based on a character from history. And right now we are working on those particular shows. They really are the combination, and they really are awesome. And if you can come and see them, they're going to be in April. It will be great. So all the four of you could just tell us what you're doing. Standing, start with Will over there.
Yeah, I'm Will. I'm doing Dr. Gregory House.
From the TV show.
I'm Garrett, and I'm doing Lee Everett from The Walking Dead video game. I'm Noah. I'm doing Tite Kubo. He is mangaka. He draws manga, and he draws Bleach, which is the world's most popular manga.
From what?
Please from Japan.
He's a real person.
He's indeed a real person.
Hi.
Hi.
My name's Jason, and I'm doing Robbie Turner from Atonement.
I'm Lyndon. I'm doing Ryan White, a boy with AIDS.
I'm Lexi, and I will be doing Judith Polgar, who is a Hungarian chess prodigy and the greatest female chess player of all time.
I'm Clifton, and I'm doing Sweeney Todd from Sweeney Todd.
I'm Mary. I'm doing Liesel Memminger from The Book Thief.
I'm Erin. I'm doing Mother Gothel from Rapunzel. I'm Reese, and I'm doing Medusa from Greek mythology.
I'm Ellie. I'm doing Viola Gray. She's a civil rights activist, and she was involved in Selma.
I'm Natalie. I'm doing Dorothy Durger, like a World War II icon.
I'm Amy. I'm doing Indie Threadgill from Liberty Threadgill too. And the book.
I'm Valerie. I'm taking a modern, or a different twist on the child's book, Where the Wild Things Are. I changed my character again.
I'm Nicole. I'm doing a person show on Felicity Smoke from the TV show / comic Arrow. She's like an IT technological person who helps out the main character, Arrow. I'm Shannon, and I'm doing Marla